Over 7 million people. That's the new record for the largest single-day protest in U.S. history. 7 million Americans raising their voices together for one purpose: to stand up for democracy and reject authoritarianism. Today's No King's Day was a powerful, historic moment. Millions of people across the nation came together to make it clear that in this country, we do not serve kings. We believe in equality, accountability, and freedom for all. The scale of this movement caught even Donald Trump off guard. Reports say he retreated to Mar-a-Lago to get away from the overwhelming crowds and demonstrations happening in cities across America. It was a major moment, and yes, an incredibly humbling one for him. But if you think that was the most surprising part of the day, just wait until you hear what happened next. Even Melania Trump added to the wave of unexpected moments on this No King's Day. And we'll get into exactly how that unfolded in just a moment. Before we do, if you've been enjoying our coverage, please take a second to like this video, and if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe. It really helps support the work we do here and keeps independent voices like ours going strong. Now, before we dive into the story of what happened with Melania, let's start with the No King's Day message itself and the powerful truth that came from today's speakers, beginning with Senator Chris Murphy, who delivered a direct and uncompromising message about accountability in leadership and integrity in government.
Trump is telling Republicans that they shouldn't even show up in Washington, D.C. The House Republicans have been on an unplanned vacation from D.C. for 5 weeks. And there's a couple reasons for that. First, they're trying to cover up for rich billionaire pedophiles. But second, because Trump does think that he's a king, and he thinks that he can act more corruptly when the government is shut down. But he cannot. He doesn't have new powers, extra powers in the shutdown. The President of the United States during a shutdown, or even when the government is open, does not have the power to send masked men into our cities and pull off the streets our peaceful neighbors and throw them into the back of vans and into prisons. He never has that power. Whether it's a shutdown or not, the President of the United States does not have the power to use the FCC and the Department of Justice to censor our speech, to tell us that we cannot speak truth to power when we are protecting our democracy. He never has that power.
The ongoing government shutdown has taken a major toll on Donald Trump's approval ratings, and it's hurting Republicans across the board as well. But instead of learning from it, some in the party appear to be embracing the chaos. This shutdown has given Speaker Mike Johnson an opportunity to block Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva from being sworn in, a move that many are calling unconstitutional. It's all part of a larger effort to delay transparency and keep critical public information out of view. Meanwhile, Donald Trump and his close advisors, including Stephen Miller and Russ Vought, the real architects behind many of these decisions, are using this shutdown as an excuse to remove large numbers of federal employees. Their goal isn't just to weaken the government, it's to make the American people lose faith in it altogether. They want us to believe that our government can't work for ordinary people, that it's broken beyond repair. But that's simply not true. The truth, as Senator Bernie Sanders powerfully reminded us earlier today, is that our government can and should serve the public, not just wealthy corporations or special interests. And before we get into the surprising mention of Melania at today's No King's Day event, let's take a listen to what Senator Sanders had to say in this powerful clip.
Thank you, Washington. Thank you, indivisible. Thank you to the millions of Americans from our smallest towns to our largest cities in every state in our country who are gathering today at thousands of rallies. Mike Johnson, the Republican Speaker of the House, called these rallies Hate America events. Boy, does he have it wrong. Millions of Americans are coming out today not because they hate America. We're here because we love America.
I brought this up in the last video I made about the fact that we saw some angry Trump tweets about no kings, including me getting called out by the Trump War Room for stating the truth about Carolyn Leavitt's calls for violence. But what Bernie is getting to here is something that I mentioned in the last video, that it is not enough for us just to protest Donald Trump. And of course, we're not. We need to understand that he is a symptom of this larger problem, how broken our politics are, the special interests that control everything, the billionaires who can buy off politicians. We're seeing it right now in New York City. The same billionaires who got Donald Trump elected are trying to stop Zoran Mandani from becoming the mayor of New York City. Those people control it all. Now, of course, Donald Trump is trying to make himself a king, trying to make himself a dictator, but he is doing it in service of Elon Musk, of Larry Ellison, of Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg, and every other billionaire who gives him money and tells him what to do. But today, that is not what we will allow to happen. Today, we will call out Donald Trump, and we will call out Melania. Trump brutally trolled with joke about his wives at No Kings. Former MSNBC host Mehdi Hasan might have had the line of the day at DC's No Kings rally after getting in a biting ding at Donald Trump. The great irony is, of course, that Donald Trump is the son of an immigrant, the grandson of an immigrant and married to an immigrant, he said. In fact, 2 of his 3 wives were immigrants, proving yet again that immigrants will do the jobs that even Americans are not willing to do. The crowd, of course, erupted in laughter at Hassan Zinger. Hassan, an immigrant to America from England, was referring to First Lady Melania Trump, who is a Slovenian immigrant, and Ivana Trump, Donald Trump's Czech first wife. The joke came during a portion of his son's 10-minute speech, where he took issue with how Republicans have described the No Kings protest as a Hate America rally. He then pointed out that the immigrants Donald Trump is focused on deporting, and ICE raids have often have greater loyalty to the U.S. Constitution than Trump himself. And we immigrants, we love this country often more than the people who are born here because we choose to move here, live here, swear an oath to the Constitution here, an oath that the guy down the street violates every morning and night. Today's event was deeply patriotic. Everywhere you looked, people were waving American flags and celebrating what this country truly stands for. It's time we reclaim the word freedom and expand what it means beyond slogans or political talking points. Freedom is the right for women to make their own healthcare decisions. Freedom is the right to love who you love without judgment. Freedom is sending your kids to school and knowing they'll come home safe. But freedom is also something deeper. It's the freedom from a broken system, the freedom from living paycheck to paycheck, the freedom from overwhelming medical bills in the wealthiest nation on earth, the freedom to rest, to create, to build, to spend time with the people you love. Real freedom means living without fear of exploitation. It means not being trapped in a system designed to profit off your struggle. It means being able to dream, to innovate, and to succeed because the path is open. not blocked by giant corporations hoarding opportunity and wealth. Let's build an America rooted in love, dignity, and the belief that there is enough for everyone. Let's create a nation where freedom means all of us rising together. And as Senator Chris Murphy reminded us in his remarks earlier today, that is the America worth fighting for.
I want to be honest with you about what's going on, and you know it. As we stand here today, the government is shut down, and shutdowns are painful. They hurt people. And frankly, that's why there was not a single government shutdown when Joe Biden was president and Democrats were in charge of Congress. Because we acted like adults, we negotiated with Republicans, we found common ground, we kept the government open. But today, Trump is telling Republicans that they shouldn't even show up in Washington, D.C. The House Republicans have been on an unplanned vacation from D.C. for 5 weeks. And there's a couple reasons for that. First, they're trying to cover up for rich billionaire pedophiles. But second, because Trump does think that he's a king, and he thinks that he can act more corruptly when the government is shut down. But he cannot. He doesn't have new powers, extra powers in the shutdown. The President of the United States during a shutdown, or even when the government is open, does not have the power to send masked men into our cities and pull off the streets our peaceful neighbors and throw them into the back of vans and into prisons. He never has that power. Whether it's a shutdown or not, the President of the United States does not have the power to use the FCC and the Department of Justice to censor our speech, to tell us that we cannot speak truth to power when we are protecting our democracy. He never has that power. And let me just say that I'm very proud of my Democratic colleagues who have drawn a line in the sand. And let me just speak for myself for a moment about this shutdown. I will not vote for a budget that throws millions of people off their health care just to pay for a tax cut for billionaires and corporations. And I will not vote for a budget that doesn't put some serious checks on President Trump's destruction of our democracy. In fact, no Democrat has a moral obligation to vote for a budget that just pays the bills for Donald Trump's political witch hunt.
We have an incredible opportunity right now. An opportunity to build something better. No King's Day wasn't just a moment in time. It was a movement. History was made. Voices were heard. And yes, there were even a few lighthearted moments that reminded us laughter can be part of resistance. But this doesn't end here. The work continues, and we'll keep pushing forward every single day on this show. If you'd like to support what we're doing, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and if you made it all the way to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments to show your support. And until next time, I will see you soon.